4 robotics students of Father Merc are in the early stages of building their own operation robot to put up against the rest of Alberta's high schools in this year's first robotics competition.
We are representing our school at what is the first provincial level competition for Alberta.
It's a competition that's been around for about 25 years, and last year Alberta had one team compete, and this year they decided to have their own provincial competition, and it's going to be held in Calgary at University of Calgary and the Olympic Oval. And so once again we'll have our first provincial competition. I'm not sure how many teams are involved right now, probably in the high 20s. When we register for the competition, once you pay your registration fee, they send you something called a kit of parts. And that kit of parts, every team gets the same kit of parts. It's a very basic set of parts.
It came with the frame, it came with 6 wheels, and actually 6 like treads that came along with it. And it came with the motors, 2 batteries, power distribution board, a serial, and let's see, a router, those joysticks, and a miniature computer, and some motor controllers, and a gearbox, and some other assorted parts. You
can spend up to $4,000 on the robot, but no one part can be worth more than $400. So essentially students have the task before them, and then what they do is they build a robot to carry out the task. So every team kind of starts on the same level with this kit of parts, and then they scramble, because they only have 6 weeks to build it. Once they receive their kit of parts, the competition is actually launched globally on the same day, and all teams should have their kit of parts pretty much on the same day. They open the kit of parts, and they begin a 6-week intensive build period.
I worked on building and wiring and helping out, like pick out what size of base to use, and gonna figure out what kind of tools to use later on.
So far we have followed instructional videos for this year's design of the robot, and that is all we have done so far up to this point. Today we will be designing the tools for this robot.
From the power distribution board, it goes to the motor controllers, and the motor controllers will control the actions of the motors, of course. And we got 2 here. Each corresponds to their individual motor, and you got this one right here in the middle here. That will control a more powerful motor sometime in the future, like for a tool of some kind.
The power transfer, this metal bar right here, it takes the 12-volt battery and reduces it to 5 volts, because only like some certain things on here could only handle 5 volts, like the receiver. So
my job is to make sure whatever we do on the joystick actually registers with the device. And there's also what's called the autonomous period, where a predetermined set of code, which I'll have to type, can go around the board, and any points scored in this time without human control is worth double points. This allows us to transmit signals to the robot to allow it to move and do what we want it to do.
This here is the power distribution board. The purpose of this is to take the power from our battery, and it goes through the circuit breaker and into the distribution board. From there, power is transferred to every other part of the robot.
If the team makes it through the provincial round, they'll have a chance at the World Championships in St. Louis, Missouri in April, and could qualify for scholarships towards their college futures. For more information on the robotics competition, visit firstalberta.org/FRC. With Shaw TV, I'm Craig Momney.